Yeah, welcome back. Just to give you a quick intro, we currently driving through the Balula Reserve. The Balula Reserve is close on 35,000 hectares of land adjacent to the Western Kruger National Park. Essentially, it's part of the greater Kruger National Park. The fences were dropped quite a number of years ago, so in terms of animal roaming, it's all one big national park. This land used to be farming land in terms of game farms, cattle and so forth, but it has been rehabilitated back into the greater Kruger Park, which is fantastic. So the size of the park is continuously growing. If you take the entire park together, the Great Transfrontier Park in Popo, the aim is to have almost 100,000 square kilometers, which incorporates the Kruger Park within the next 10 years. That is across South Africa, southern Zimbabwe, as well as the Limpopo Park in Mozambique. As you can see, it's wild. There's not much out here in terms of civilization. This is Big Five country. This is not a place you can just get out of your car. If you have a puncture or anything like that, you have to call in for help, because elephant, rhino, leopard, wild dog, buffalo all roam this land. It's pretty brown and dry at the moment because we are in winter season. The rainy season down here takes place during the summer month, where this whole bush area becomes very, very green. It's very succulent with grass, so you have all your antelope out roaming. We might bump into a bit of game, but this is one of the bigger main roads, so the chances are fairly slim. But just for you to get an idea, when we talk about the African bush, what the bush really is about, you're not hearing any music background, or I should rather say background music. We have a strict rule that once we're within a reserve, we don't play any music, because obviously you want to keep things as natural as possible and not disturb the peace. The sound of the bush itself is simply amazing. So we'll continue a little bit in the hope of bumping into something perhaps. We are on our way back to the Toriyaka Lodge, where we're staying at the moment. There where we had our nice elephant incident at the moment. We have had reports of a leopard kill, and when we go onto our evening drive, we might be lucky enough to find that. You probably saw in the previous videos as well, we do go out on foot into this area. However, it is only with an armed ranger and another armed guide behind us. One cannot go out on one's own. It is simply too risky, it is too dangerous, and if you go out, you can only go out with a ranger who really knows what he's doing. Bumping onto an elephant on foot can be, it can have devastating consequences, as it can be blind. However, if one knows what one's doing, there is no problem. Tomorrow we'll be leaving this area. We'll be going further up north towards a town called Phalaborwa. We will enter the park again. We'll enter through the Phalaborwa gate, and then we are going to go. There's some guinea fowl on the side of the road here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Very, very common in this area. Crossing the road now. To take a step back, we'll be entering through the Phalaborwa gate, going to the Mopani camp, which is fairly north from the park. We're spending a night in the Mopani camp. After that, we'll be going up to a camp even further north called Shingwetsi. After Shingwetsi, we'll go even one step further to the most northern camp in Kruger, which is Punda Maria. Then we'll take a drive up to a place called Crooks Corner. Crooks Corner is where the Limpopo River and the Levuva River meet, and you have three countries that meet at one particular point, which is South Africa from the south, Mozambique from the east, and of course Zimbabwe from the north. A beautiful area. We'll spend a bit of time there, take some footage and photographs to show you. After that, we'll be heading down back to the Mopani area, and we're going to spend a night in a hide. Now that's quite something else, if I can put it that way. Essentially, there are hides along the rivers and dams and so forth in the park. The South African National Parks Board takes one there at night. It's fairly basic. There's not many amenities there. You take your own sleeping bag, you spend the night in the hide with a spotlight or night vision equipment if you want. You essentially get locked into that, so you are safe from predators and the like that are out here. And you get an opportunity to spend the night in a very, very remote piece of the bush. There's no reception or anything, so we won't be able to give you a kind of a live feed from there, but any footage we capture, we will put it onto the fan page on the very next day. Yeah, and that's about it. So we're hoping you're enjoying it so far. There's a lot more to come. It's simply beautiful out here. You can see it's a bit of a rainy day today, which also makes it nice. It doesn't make it so hot. It can go up into the region of 40-45 degrees Celsius here in summer, but it's a fairly nice cool day, which is also good for game viewing. So hopefully later on we'll have a bit of luck. I can see we have some animals coming up here on our left. I'm going to try and turn the camera a little bit. We've got some impala here, as well as wildebeest, also known as gnu in German. You can see them here probably. This is just the entrance to another lodge. There's a young wildebeest right in front of us here. All these grazers enjoying daytime, especially this is when the predators, i.e. lions and leopards, tend to rest, so they hunt at night. So these guys look very, very calm, as you can see. The impala is probably the most common antelope in Africa. You can see the M marking on the back. People jokingly call it the McDonald's of the bush, because everything that has teeth tries to eat these guys. So very common out here. The Kruger region generally has about 150,000 impala roaming, and it is seasonal as well. Obviously in summer, when there's more food and water, the populations go up and they fluctuate. Right, with that, let's see if we can bump into something. Enjoy the ride so far. I know it might look a bit desolate, but that's what it's all about. It's not, coming to the bush is not just about seeing lion and leopard and elephant. It's really experiencing the sights, the sound, the smell, the peace, and I'd almost say the energy. There's not an energy of just serenity. All this land you see around there has been untouched, other than the places that have been farmed, which have been rehabilitated, but generally this has been untouched for thousands and thousands of years, and therefore there's something almost archaic about the African bush. It carries with it a lot of history in terms of natural history, and it's also proven that first fossils of man were found in southern Africa. So this is where man originated from. So it's quite interesting to even just drive through it, open your window, take in the sounds and the sights. And of course, you never know what you might bump into. That's what makes it beautiful. This is not a zoo. You can't go and order lion or leopard. You rely on your ranger, you rely on your own spotting skills, and see what you get. Of course, our aim is to show you the big five, the super two, and hopefully we can do that. So we'll chat to you again a bit later, and wish us luck for finding a leopard this afternoon.